The dancing shoes. A king once had 12 daughters, and one was just as beautiful as another. These 12 beautiful daughters all slept in the large hall of the castle, where their beds stood side by side. Every night when they went to bed, the door to the large hall in which they slept was locked and bolted by the king himself. Now each princess had a pair of dancing shoes, which were to be worn when the king gave a dance. But it happened that no matter how many new pairs of dancing shoes the king gave to his daughters, the next morning, when he unlocked the door, he found the shoes all worn out and in holes. There was not a wise man in the kingdom who could think how this happened, for no one could get out of the bolted windows and doors. At last, the king said that whoever would find out where his daughters went in the night to dance and how they got out of the room should have one of them for his wife, Life. But the king also said that anyone who had tried for 3 nights and then could not tell the secret of the worn-out shoes should give up his. In spite of all this, it was not long before a prince came to the kingdom who wished to try and find out the secret. That night, the young man was placed in a room near the hall where the maidens slept, and a door was also left open so that he could follow them if they should go away to dance. As soon as the prince lay down to watch, it seemed as if lead had been placed on his eyelids. He could not keep awake, and in the morning, the dancing shoes were found even more worn than usual. The second and the third nights, the same thing happened, and then the prince was put to death without the least pity. Even this did not keep other young men from trying, but they all lost their lives. Now it happened that a poor soldier who had been wounded and could not serve any longer in the array was on his way to the town where the king and his daughters lived when he met an old woman. "Why are you going to the town?" she asked. "I don't know," he answered. "But if I have no better luck, I may try to find out where the king's daughters go every night to wear out their slippers." "That is not so very hard," said the old woman. "All you have to do is to keep awake, and if you do not drink the wine which they will try to give you, you will have no trouble." She then gave him a little cloak and said, "When you wear this cloak, no one can see you, and you can easily follow the king's daughters as they go to their dance." Her good wishes gave the soldier courage, so he at once went before the king and told him he would like to try to find the secret of the dancing shoes. The king was glad to see the soldier, and in the evening, as bedtime came, he was led to the little room. When the king's daughters came to bed, the oldest brought to him a goblet of wine, but the soldier had tied a piece of sponge under his chin, so that as he put the cup to his lips, the wine all ran into the sponge, and he did not drink a drop. Then he lay down, and, after a little while, began to snore as if he were fast asleep. When the 12 maidens heard this, they began to laugh, and the oldest said, "There is another goose who does not care for his life." Then the maidens arose, put on their most beautiful dresses, and danced about for joy, all except the youngest, who said, "I don't know why it is, but I feel as if something were going to happen." "You are always afraid," cried the oldest daughter. "Do you think that after we have fooled so many kings' sons, we shall not be able to take care of this soldier?" When the princesses were all ready, they came in and looked at the man, but he had his eyes closed tight and he did not move, so they thought that he was surely sound asleep. Then the oldest daughter went up to her bed and struck it gently. All at once it began to sink down into the earth. Down, down it went, till a flight of stairs was seen leading into the darkness. As the daughters of the king, one by one, went down these stairs, the soldier jumped out of bed, threw on his magic cloak, and followed them. About halfway down, he trod lightly on the dress of the last princess, which so frightened her that she cried aloud, "What was that? Who was pulling my dress?" "Don't be foolish," cried the oldest daughter. "Your dress must have caught on a hook or something." When they came to the bottom of the stairs, the soldier saw bright green fields, through which ran a road with beautiful shade trees on either side. These trees had silver leaves, which shone and sparkled in the light of many lamps. "Well," thought the soldier, "I must take a proof of all this to the king." So he broke off a branch with its sparkling leaves. As he did this, the branch gave such a crack that the youngest princess cried out, "I am sure there is something wrong. Did you hear that noise?" "That was nothing," said the oldest sister, "but a gun fired in our honor by the princes." They went on until they came to another street, where the trees had leaves of gold, and still farther they came to a third street, where the leaves sparkled with diamonds. From each of these trees the soldier broke off branches, and the youngest daughter, when she heard them crack, was again afraid, but the oldest sister still thought them nothing but guns. Before long they came to the shore of a lake, on which lay 12 pretty little boats, and in each boat sat a handsome young prince. As the 12 maidens came up, they took seats in the 12 little boats. Now the soldier, all unseen, took his seat in the boat with the youngest princess. When the prince rowed away, he said, "I do not see why this boat should row so hard. I cannot keep up with the rest." "Perhaps you are not so strong as they," answered the princess, and the prince said no more. The soldier now saw before him, on the other side of the lake, a noble castle, bright with lights, and strains of sweet music came over the water. When all had landed, they went to the ballroom, where the maidens were soon dancing with life and spirit. The soldier, wearing his little cloak, danced among them unseen, and often when a glass of wine was brought and placed on the table, he would drink it while no one was looking. This made the youngest princess feel that something was wrong, but the others made fun of her. The maidens danced and danced till all their shoes were quite worn out. Then the princes rowed them back again over the lake, and the soldier went as before, unseen. As soon as they reached the shore, the soldier jumped out, ran quickly up the stairway to his room and jumped into bed. When the maidens came slowly up the stairs, they all heard him snoring loudly, and the oldest said, "At least there is no danger from him." So they took off their beautiful clothes and soon were fast asleep. Now the soldier did not say a word of what he had seen, for he wished to go again to hear the music and see the beautiful castle across the lake. So he went with the 12 princesses on the second night and again on the third night, and each time they danced till their shoes were worn out. On the third night, the soldier took a golden cup as further proof of what he had seen. The morning of the third day, the soldier came before the king, bearing the 3 branches which he had broken off and the golden cup. The king then said, "How is it, sir, that my 12 daughters have worn out their dancing shoes each night while you have been watching?" "By dancing with 12 princes," answered the soldier, "in a castle built under the ground." Then the soldier told the king all he had seen and gave him the 3 branches and the golden cup. When he had heard the soldier's story, the king sent for his daughters and asked them if what the soldier had said were true. They saw at once that they had been found out, and they could deny nothing. Then the king asked the soldier which one of the 12 princesses he would take for In's wife, and the soldier answered, "As I am no longer young, I will take your oldest daughter." So the soldier married the oldest princess, and when the king died, he left to him his whole kingdom.